Please be advised this podcast is all nonsense. Nothing you hear or see while adventuring with the worm should be taken seriously, or more importantly, fact-checked. Try not to let the mispronunciations distract you from the knowledge being shared. You're just riding with two worms trying to have a good time. Those of you still listening,
if you were out there.
we appreciate your fandom.
And biscuits.
And the biscuits. Guess what I did on Saturday?
What did you do on Saturday?
Went to see Frodo.
Oh, Frodo.
Yeah. Not Elijah Wood, the guy who played the real life story of Frodo.
The documentary reenactment.
Yeah. The actual Frodo.
Actual Frodo. How
Yeah.
was he?
He's alright. He suffers from PTSD.
Well, I can imagine there was a lot happened.
Yeah. Apparently it's quite traumatic. The cinemised version of it was nowhere near as traumatic.
It was heavily watered down.
Yep.
Heavily watered down.
Yeah, I think in the film he loses a finger, but in real life he lost both his legs and an arm.
Oh, and half the other arm.
Yeah, it was just too graphic.
It was way too great. It was horrific.
Yeah, they were like, well, that's not really going to sell. I think people are too scared.
It's interesting how the book doesn't mention any of these injuries either.
I think it was just too brutal, too graphic.
Maybe.
Unless you get the unedited book version.
Do you think Frodo was happy with the book? Because I'm guessing he sat down, told the events to Mr. Tolkien. When he read it back, there's a lot missing.
That was a problem. He said he couldn't read it back because he couldn't turn the pages. He's got no legs and arms.
He only read the first page.
Just the front cover. He said he liked the graphic of the front cover.
And then signed it off.
But he couldn't sign it.
With his mouth. He kissed it.
He
That's how Frodo signs... You know that's how Frodo signs things off?
Kissnature.
His kissnature. He kisses it. And then nods.
and then nods.
And then nods.
Gives the old noggin.
And that's how you know he's okay with it.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, I assume he did because it became a book and a film.
And then a book again.
Yep. But he's not doing well now, him personally.
Terrible.
His books are doing great, but he has no idea. He sometimes struggles to remember what day it is.
Self-heard.
Because he's just...
So...
He's too busy. He just sits in his chair, rocking chair.
Rocking backwards and forwards, kissing things.
He just kisses everything. Thinks he's constantly signing off on things. He actually thinks he's super famous. Which, technically, his story is.
His story is very famous.
But the actors are way more famous than he is.
I wonder if the actors ever met him.
No.
No, they can't get to the planet.
Exactly, he's too far away. That's why I went to visit on Saturday. I always feel bad that he doesn't get visitors. I only visit him once a year, though, because it's such a traumatic experience.
It's so far away as well.
Yeah, it does take a while. It took me the whole week.
Just to get there, all there and back.
To get there. Only took a day to get back.
It's downhill coming back.
Yeah.
Space downhill. Not many people know that space has hills.
They do. They are not governed by gravity.
Earthlings don't know.
Yeah, they're not governed by gravity, that's why.
They
work differently.
They're governed by the space government.
Yeah. They've written legislation on it, actually.
On the space hills.
Yep, that they will travel faster.
And you're just allowed to travel faster.
Yeah, and it's uphill.
And it's uphill.
Well, it's not actually even a hill. They're just called hills.
They're just called hills.
Yeah. I like hills.
I love space hills. I love rolling down space hills.
I just think it's so much more exciting.
It adds an element of excitement to the vast void that is space.
It makes it less boring.
If there was no hills.
Yeah. I also think the sledge doesn't work very well on them.
No. Well, you just sit on it.
Well, it doesn't move.
It doesn't move.
You actually move better downhill without the sledge.
But it's nice to have a sledge.
Well, because I just like to show people. It's an ornament.
People are always very impressed by our sledge collection.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. We don't actually know how to use them, but they like looking at them.
Don't even know where we got most of them.
Amsterdam. Yeah, when I went to pick up some clogs. Because wooden shoes, wooden sledges, authentic wooden sledges.
What did you ever do with those clogs?
Oh, you realise I have no feet?
Yeah, I remember you buying them and bringing them on the ship.
Yeah.
And then I don't remember seeing them much after that.
Gave them to Michael Jackson for his dancing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what you learned to moonwalk in?
Yeah.
Oh,
And that weird move where he leans forward.
In the clogs.
Yeah. In the clogs. He practiced in clogs.
If you watch some of his early music videos, you can see those clogs.
Yeah, you can actually.
You have to pay close attention because they tried to CGI them out.
It's actually interesting because you can see that these weird shoes are just moving on top of where the clogs were.
If I remember correctly, what they actually did was just cut out some shoes from the Argos catalogue and just put them over.
And the shoes keep changing because they lost the Argos
They
catalogue.
lost the Argos catalogue and one of the cutouts, so they just had to get another one.
Yeah, and they were like, we can't re-edit the whole thing with this new pair.
No one will notice.
Well, they didn't. The only scene they noticed is the one when he leans.
They probably thought that no one was going to look at Michael Jackson's feet, which is then why Michael Jackson made such an effort of moving his feet so much, because so people paid attention to his feet.
He was not... He didn't like the conspiracy.
He hated dancing. He actually despised dancing.
Yeah, he just didn't like the conspiracy theory of the fact that his clogs weren't getting enough airtime.
Yeah, he thought the more he moved his feet, there was a higher chance of people seeing the clogs.
Yeah. He thought if he moves them fast enough, they
They
can't
can't edit that good.
Yeah. But they were really good editors, unfortunately.
There's still, if you pay close attention,
you
can see the clogs.
Actually, the editors are the ones that edited his shoes.
They were. So why they're called the editors. And also, why he's so good at dancing.
Why is he so good?
No, but that's why he's so good at dancing.
Oh, because he had to try to dance.
Yeah. He learned to dance from
that
watching
monkey?
from the monkey while watching Michael Jackson.
Who learned to dance?
The monkey.
I thought.
Who then taught the editors?
Oh, taught the editors to. Okay, yeah, I forgot about the editors being able to dance.
Yeah, the editors are really good dancing.
Yeah, but you never see them dance.
No, I've seen them dance.
Really?
Yeah.
When?
Went to see them live
Where?
on Planet 3.
I thought they never go there anymore.
They went there once when they got held up in Space Court for editing the clogs. Because that's a space crime, editing clogs.
It's on Wikipedia.
Yep. But they were obviously let off because they were on Earth when they did it, and the legislation doesn't cover Earth. But there's problems, and they were trying to get them. They didn't.
Oh, so that was the only show they did on.
That's the only show they did. They were there, and they had lots of fans.
That's amazing because you got to see
everyone knows Planet 3 love editing, and they had the editors were coming, and they went crazy.
I think they actually requested them, didn't they?
They did request them, but they wouldn't go because of the transport. But then obviously when they were being sued, they got basically free transport. So they were like, free transport, we'll do a show.
Yeah, exactly.
So if anything, they were going to like say, no, we're not coming. We're giving free transport to a show.
Were they subpoenaed?
I don't know. I don't know, like the top level facts. I don't know how far it went and what happened.
How come I wasn't there?
You were visiting Frodo?
That was only yesterday. Oh, the other time I went.
When you went to the...
That was the very first time I visited.
It was the very first time you went. You went there for 3 months and you missed all of this.
I didn't realise I could go downhill to get back. I took the same path that I took to get there.
Yep, so you went uphill getting there, then uphill coming back, and that is mad.
I didn't even know how I managed to do that.
But you were gone for ages.
I was constantly looking down, but I couldn't find out how to get there.
I even saved you a seat. The seat next to you was empty. I put my feet up. Well, worm stump.
Worm stump. Yeah. I did see the popcorn. But it went stale. You didn't even eat it, you just left it. The only problem with popcorn is it goes stale far too quickly.
That's when you don't eat it quick enough, and that's your own fault.
Okay, so you buy popcorn for the cinema, then you want to enjoy it throughout the whole film, but if you do that by the end of the film, it's stale.
That's why.
So you have to eat it in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, and that's when you go and buy more popcorn.
Yeah, but even then, you buy more popcorn at the beginning of the film before it starts.
No. You start watching the film, eat popcorn until you run out of popcorn. Then you just leave the film and get more popcorn.
Oh no, you can't leave the film.
You ask somebody to go and get you more popcorn.
You should have it where you take someone along who's already seen the film, and they are your popcorn retrieval.
Your popcorn jockey.
Jockey. I was going to call them like a popcorn retrieval master.
Either or.
Probably not a master.
They might be good at it.
Yeah, I would say popcorn retrieval jester.
Oh, jester.
Because they're comedic.
They sometimes are comedic when they do cartwheels with the popcorn.
Only when the popcorn doesn't spill, because it really annoys me that they've gone to get the popcorn and spilt it straight away.
And then you have to lick it off the floor.
Yeah, because I'm not wasting...
Not wasting popcorn.
Also, floor popcorn's actually quite nice. I just don't like having to lick it off the floor.
Yeah, can you get cheeky bits of pop and chocolate and hair?
The hair's okay, actually. It's the pop and the cheeky bits that I don't like. Nah, I think taking someone who was just there to collect popcorn for you would be great, but it's also really annoying that it goes stale so quick.
They should invent a way to slow down the staling process of popcorn.
Why does it go stale? Is it the moisture?
I think it's just not very efficient in a moist environment.
If you could eat popcorn in a moisture-free environment,
In a dehydrated environment.
then you'll be fine.
So they need to start dehydrating cinemas.
Yeah.
And then add sell more drinks.
Because people be so...
We've just saved the cinema industry.
We have. And we've increased the pop industry.
Yep.
Not music pop, as in...
We can do that next week.
Yeah, we're good at saving stuff. And if not, we'll just escape.
Oh, yeah. So good at escape.
Well, exactly. It's safer. We should pitch that to cinemas.
Dehydrate the rooms.
Yeah.
We will.
Not dehydrate like dehydrated fruit, because we don't want people coming out.
Yeah, but then you could also dehydrate fruit in there. Then they've got the second income. Fish, fruit, everything. They could dehydrate everything in there.
Because they're dehydrating the room anyway, they can kind of do it like a free gift. But actually, they don't care. They'll just use the money they're making from the pop to buy the fruit.
And then more people will go because they're also getting dehydrated everything.
What's your favourite dehydrated fruit? Or dehydrated anything?
Fish. I love a dehydrated fish.
Really? I've never had a dehydrated fish.
It's real good.
Okay, what's your favourite fish?
Oh, that's hard.
Not in general, the favourite dehydrated fish.
The little ones, I think they're like anchovies or something.
Anchovies are really strong. I do like them. When I eat anchovies on pizza, people judge me.
Why?
I don't know, I don't think a lot of people like them.
I love anchovies.
I like
Especially
anchovies.
when we went to Fish Planet and they gave us loads of anchovies.
Oh, there is another mini fish that I like.
Pilchard.
Oh, I do like a pilchard. But there's a fish that you can have as a start white bait.
Oh, white bait. Yeah.
You know how a lot of people don't bite the tail of a white bait? I don't see the point.
Just eat it.
It's so small
Just put it in your face.
that you're eating the bones anyway
Yeah, and the brain and the eyes.
and everything. So why are you bothered about the fin all of a sudden?
I don't even have it.
I'm not eating the fin. Some people don't eat the head actually.
Yeah, I know. Some people just chomp that little bit in the middle. That's the point.
Exactly. You'd have to eat like 7,000 to get full.
That's when we come along and eat everything else.
I eat the whole thing.
Spit in my mouth and it's gone.
All of it. I actually shovel it into my mouth.
So
Love
do I.
white bait.
Love white bait?
I feel like it's the healthier version of
Pizza.
definitely pizza. I was actually thinking calamari.
Okay. Oh, I love calamari though.
Panko breadcrumbs.
Ooh.
It's so good. Either sort of a tartare with lemon juice sauce or a garlic aioli. Really hungry now. Yeah, so dehydrated. No, I think I don't have enough dehydrated stuff.
I don't think it's a very popular form of delivering food to people's faces.
Jerky.
Yeah.
That's kind of dehydrated.
It is.
I think that's...
Is it cured though, not rather than dehydrated?
I did say kind of dehydrated.
Yeah.
It isn't. It definitely isn't dehydrated.
I do like jerky though.
Do you like jerky? I could eat so much jerky, but I also believe it's bad for you.
Yeah, it's quite bad for you.
Digressed onto food.
We love
We
food.
too love food. It's because I'm hungry.
We have to take in a lot of calories because we're such large worms.
And on the journey to see Frodo, I don't get to eat because I'm not allowed to.
Yeah, but
Because if I turn up and I've eaten, he can smell it on me.
he doesn't like it.
He's like, "Why are you
He
eating?"
won't kiss you.
Well, the reason is because he can only eat things that he can slap his face at because he can't lift anything up.
That's true.
So it has to be placed in front of him, and he has to be able to have it through a straw, or he can roll his face into it, pick it up, and eat.
And eat it.
Roll backwards.
Mm.
He's like, you know those Russian dolls? Oh, not the Russian dolls.
So what? The ones that roll in food?
You know those inflatable clowns you can get where you push them and they stand back up again?
Yeah.
That's how he eats. He sort of rolls forward, picks something up in his mouth, and rolls backwards, and either just on his stump.
There was an episode of that, one of those, in Rugrats, if you remember.
Okay, I do remember, but weren't they scared of it?
Yep, they were terrified of it.
Because they didn't know what it was.
And it said something when it got back up. I can't remember what.
I do like the fact that they took everyday situations and turned it into adventures.
We thought it was a documentary for a while.
I did. It was a bit confusing because everything was drawn.
And we didn't understand because we've been to animated drawn planets several times.
So I just thought it was another one.
And we just thought Earth was like that until we came.
And then we realised it wasn't. And then I still thought it was a documentary that they'd taken from a different planet.
We thought they'd stolen it. We put it out.
We actually thought you'd, on Earth, managed to find another planet with intelligent life. And then we realised...
Well, that's what Doug was, if you remember. We found that out. That they were just actually filming Doug
Oh, yeah.
and then showing it on TV. It's like the Truman Show, essentially.
Earth didn't find it. Someone had brought it here.
Yeah, but they,
I'm still trying to find out who that was.
they didn't. Everyone thought it was a show, and then we were like, we've been here, we know this guy, and then we was watching like, why are they watching this? This is creepy.
Also, why are they calling him Doug? His name's Truman.
Yeah, well,
He
yeah.
was actually Truman. Truman Show was actually based on this one.
Maybe it was the guy who made the Truman Show because he knew his name was Truman.
What if every film that's ever been made is actually based on a real life event on another planet, but they just, like, the space travelers bring them, plant them as little seeds into these directors' minds.
And then get
They
them to
think
make
they've
it.
come up with an amazing idea, and actually it was just someone giving them the idea.
We'll have to investigate this.
Definitely.
We'll have to do some investigatory work.
Stakeout.
We're getting steak.
That's why I love
I
stakeouts.
love stakeouts.
Also, I think stakeout is steakhouse.
Yeah.
So what you do is you sit in a steakhouse and eat steak until anything suspicious happens.
Anything suspicious happens.
And then when it happens, you get to eat steak.
Yep.
But you also get to eat steak while you're waiting.
Well, yeah, because what are you going to do while you're waiting for the steak? You
Steak.
get hungry?
I do sometimes like sitting in Coca-Cola.
Well, yeah.
The bubbles make me feel lovely. It's a Coca-Cola flavoured cold tub. It's like a hot tub.
But cold and fizzy.
Busy.
I wonder why a hot tub was always so sticky.
Ooh, imagine filling a hot tub with a fizzy...
You've done that! That's exactly what we're describing.
No, that was cold tub there. I never done a hot tub. But actually
Yeah,
making
but
it hot.
you used the hot tub for it, you just didn't turn it on.
Yeah, but I'm saying
Make it
like
hot.
tonic or soda water. The bubbles...
Will be bubblified by the hot
More
bubbles.
Oh, it's going to be insane. Would it be double fizz?
Double fizz. Well, it wouldn't be fizzy though, because a hot tub's not fizzy.
But the drink we're putting in is
It is.
fizzy. So would it be...
It'll go frothy.
Only if it's sugar-based.
What are we putting in that's not...
Soda water?
That's fizzy, that froths.
Yeah, but it's not sugar-based, is it?
Yeah, but irrelevant. If you shake it, you'll get the froth.
Oh, okay. You said foam?
Yeah,
You said foam?
frothy foam.
Yeah, I was thinking actual foam. I don't mind. Anyway,
The foam party.
the foam party.
Oh yeah, we can.
It would be fizzy. That's what I'm thinking.
Yes,
but it will be super fizzy.
It'll keep frothing up.
So you know when you drink Coca-Cola
Mm-hmm.
and it's fizzy and it goes up your nose?
Yep.
That would be the feeling, but on your body. And it's not a nice feeling up your nose, but it's a very weird feeling of all the air that
Yeah.
you're drinking air essentially.
Mm.
So imagine being in a super lightweight fizz.
I think it'd be pleasant.
I'm going to see if I can float on it.
You probably could float on it. I think it'd make messy though. I think you'd get everywhere.
Not if you only half fill it.
Yeah, you'd have to half fill it.
So the rest is filled with the fizz foam. Why are you laughing like that's a stupid idea?
It's not a stupid idea. It's a great idea.
You just got the idea of fizz foam.
I love fizz foam.
I love fizz foam.
Lick it all.
Sit on it.
You couldn't sit on it. You'd sink into it.
I wouldn't.
No, that's true.
I
We
weigh nothing.
don't weigh anything.
That's why travel's so easy.
It is.
Like I said before, the spacecraft is purely
Aesthetic.
just because we
Looks
look cool when we
We
land.
look great.
If we just wormed our way and landed on the planet, it just looks like we jumped really high. Whereas this impressive craft, also the fact that the Bears built the extension, they'd be really upset if we stopped using it.
They would be
And because
very
when
weird.
people come and visit us who aren't lightweight, they need somewhere
Oh
to
yeah,
stay.
we give people a lift as well sometimes. And remember that one time when we just said get on our back and we didn't realise not everyone could breathe in space. That was bad.
Let's not talk about that.
I'm not
Hey,
talking about
we're
it.
still on the run
Yeah, that's why we have to escape so much.
because we keep forgetting and doing it every time we go. Because we don't know which planets can handle breathing in space.
It's also why I had to leave the editors' concert early. Because they came.
They came.
They did. And then the police turned up.
Ah, okay. That's why you had to leave the popcorn on the seat. Ah, makes it perfect sense now. Perfect sense.
It all comes together. Eventually.
Eventually, yeah. We may get caught one day, but don't worry, we'll just escape.
We can get caught, but we can always escape.
Sometimes we like getting caught because it's...
It's fun to escape.
Yeah.
We love it.
And we know we get longer, so sometimes we need to get caught to escape.
And sometimes we just want the free meal.
Yeah. When they're like, oh, we actually get ourselves to the point of death row where they're like, you can have anything you want. We order everything, eat, and then escape. We do have to wait an hour to digest.
Oh yeah, you can't escape on a full stomach.
No. 2 reasons. Can't fit through anything. When I flatten, I still have the bumps of food in me. But also because it's gotta relax. relax. No point
We
in
like
a
to
massive move.
nap after we eat.
We do.
Little
Not that we
sleep.
need to sleep, but we just,
Oh, we just know we
it's
like
nice.
it. We just
it's
like
just,
it.
It's pleasant.
Have a little lie down, close our eyes. Still awake.
Nothing's actually happening.
Anyway,
We are going to do things.
which we say we will do. And by
Those things are,
answering a question,
yes, question answering of the questions we will.
which have been provided by questionnaires.
I want a bit Yoda then.
Oh, I
Me
love
too.
Yoda. He's a lovely guy.
He is.
We're going to wander off again.
Nope.
Anyway,
Yep. Till next time.
Yoda, we miss you. Anyway,
I love you.
question 1.
I love a lot of things, I'm not going to lie.
If humans live and they can't see the air around them, can fish see the water they swim in?
Curious.
Can we see the air? Well, we're not. Can we?
You're right there.
No,
That question's broken.
it
you.
has. It's really hard.
We can't see the physical air.
but
Obviously, we can see through air.
Yeah, exactly. So are we seeing the air? It's just see through. You can see glass, but it's see through. But you
At
can
certain
see.
angles, yeah.
You can see glass.
But we can see water, so are we saying that fish too stupid to
Whoa!
understand the concept of water? Because that's just rude.
That is
And I'm
rude.
not having any of that.
I'm not having any of that.
So, fish are as intelligent as...
Why shouldn't fish go
Human
around
life.
in schools? They're always learning. That's
they
why
never stop learning
they never stop learning.
because they're always in school.
Because they're always in school. You can't school a fish because it's in school.
Schooled you.
It schools you, if anything. That's
Only,
like how,
only if he invites you into the school of fish.
yeah, it's rare.
Yeah, it's kind of a fish community.
Yeah, they are quite a close community. They're not
Yeah,
too willing to let people in.
I think they have their own learning system,
But yeah, because they're always in school.
but I think
24
they learn
hours
differently.
24 hours school is a hard school system to put up with for your whole life.
Yeah, they do get to sleep still, but they're still
In
a school.
Yeah,
It's like boarding school for fish. As soon as you're born,
you're in school.
you're in school, you stay in school, you never leave school, unless someone separates you from the school.
Then you can join a new school
Sometimes.
sometimes.
Or sometimes you just get eaten by humans.
Then you're not in school.
And you're not in school at all.
You're in the
But it
belly.
wouldn't matter, because you're also not in water.
So fish aren't stupid. We know that.
Super clever. If we can see water...
So maybe humans are the stupid ones because they can't see air. The fish are laughing at the humans because we're like, well, we can see this water. They can't see the air.
Also, they can travel in the water very easily, underwater, have gills adapted. And they're like, why can't you float?
Humans can't float. They have not mastered air travel yet. Well, they have, but in mechanical devices.
And in fairness, fish haven't, but they don't need to. They've mastered water travel.
Well, would you need a plane? A water plane if you...
If you can master it, yeah.
yeah.
That's why you don't see any water planes
If
anymore.
humans had learned to fly, they wouldn't need planes.
Yeah, well, exactly. And they would go on holiday more.
They would go on holiday a lot more.
And they wouldn't have to pay for it.
And they could touch giraffes' heads more often.
They could. They can if the giraffe bends down anyway.
But giraffes
I
don't like doing
mean,
that.
without having to disturb the giraffe while they're eating.
And you could fly up there and tap him on his head and say good day.
Or just have a conversation with
have
them.
a conversation.
You could learn giraffe.
You'd be nice to the animals in general.
It would be. Go see what's going on with the migration of birds.
Yes.
Maybe you could migrate with them and see where they're all going.
see what that's all about.
I'd like a nice migration. I believe they probably can see the water. If we can see the water, they definitely can see the water.
They can definitely see the water. Well, they must be able to see the water to navigate through it.
I reckon they can even see the air.
They probably can see the air. This is what I'm saying. Humans are the ones who are behind.
They actually can see air.
If humans spent more time in school, they could probably see the air.
Well, if they started school at the same time fish do,
And then stayed in school,
all the way through to they're constantly learning.
then they would be able to see air. So it's the lack of humans' education. It means they
If
can't
anything,
see
we take people from school far too early.
way too early. Because if we weren't, then they'd be able to see the air.
That was a bit too easy.
We need to speak to the fish government about how they implemented their schooling system
We also need to know if there's a special technique of how they see the water.
and the funding.
Constantly being in school, but also being able to create a fish humanity.
Fish humanity, yeah.
Fish humanity.
Because it must take a lot of governing to all that upkeep. There's a lot to think about.
They've obviously have to keep an ecosystem, but if no one's earning anything, maybe that's why they're so clever. Humans educate their children, their offspring,
Yep, they're younglings.
send them to school for a short period of time, and then they send them off into the world to earn money.
Whereas fish aren't concerned with money.
At all.
All they're concerned with is seaweed.
But they don't even use that for currency.
They use it with wigs.
They do, yeah. Dreadwigs.
Yeah. And then the humans try and eat it all.
Yeah, the crispify it. I don't understand that.
Yeah.
That's weird.
I think humans are the problem.
Yeah, if anything, you're being silly asking this question. The fish are laughing at you.
I don't think humans give fish enough credit. I think they concern themselves too much with eating the fish and their seaweed without taking into account their schooling system.
Fish are not barbaric creatures.
No, not at all.
So,
you've never met a fish barbarian.
No, of course not.
Or a fish warlord.
But you see loads of human warlords and barbarians, and they also attack fish and eat fish. So, fish are intelligent, but they just don't have the physical embodiment to be able to fight off a human.
This is the problem. They don't have the physicality required. Because they're peaceful creatures, they've never generated the arms needed to fight or weaponry because they're peaceful. They're not concerned with this.
They go to school and
They
learn.
just want to go to school, learn, and make seaweed wigs. That's all they want to do.
The Gandhis of the sea.
And then people are going around catching them in nets.
Taking them away from their school. The educational system.
Literally pulling them out of the education system to eat them.
Which is what happens to humans. They get pulled out of the educational system.
To be eaten.
Purely because they have aged. How dare you take someone out of school? What if they want to continue to learn? And don't force them to have to start paying for learning as they get older.
Oh yeah.
I'm getting really upset.
Learn from the fish.
This is why the fish talk to the sharks. So that when humans enter the sea, they're like,
try and eat him.
Yep, go attack
Get him.
You know what? He stole my dad.
They stole my dad and then tried to take me out of school.
Yep.
And the sharks are angry about this.
Obviously because they get on so well with the fish. Because they share their habitat.
Sharks famously water creatures.
They are. They can walk on land, but they don't do it because...
They don't like it. Well, because there's always been humans about.
It's less of a game for them if they just walk onto land and eat all the humans.
Yeah, that's true. They like the challenge.
They like the waiting game. Also, they can't smell blood in air, but they can smell blood in water.
That's true.
So they
like to know when they've got a nosebleed.
Yes, they do. Also, they can't fight as well because they wouldn't know where the humans are. They're all blind.
Oh, yeah.
They can only smell the blood and they attack like bats.
But this is when you go and see sharks in a natural habitat. They all wear glasses, but they take them off when
Except on Sundays.
Except on Sundays.
They get really confused. They think Sunday means it's going to be really sunny, so they put on their
shades.
Every other day.
Sunglasses? No.
Friday, they don't like because they get worried for the fish. They fight on Fridays because they don't want the fish to get fried because of fish and chip shops.
That's why Friday was known Friday.
Because everything got fried.
Everything got fried. Fish got caught, took out of school, fried.
Saturday was sitting day.
Which is why you sat on it.
Monday was money day.
Money day.
Which was invented by humans, obviously. Tuesday was the day you chewed.
I thought it was when you choose things.
Maybe it's both. Oh, we'll get back to you.
I think it depends who you ask.
Tuesday. Okay. I thought it was
when you chose everything, so you can only choose things on Tuesday.
Oh, it might make sense actually, because Monday was get money day.
Yeah, and then you choose
Tuesday
everything.
was Tuesday, and then Wednesday, which is really funny because it's spelled Wednesday.
Yeah,
was when the weddings would happen.
Weddings on the Wednesday, and then Thursday.
But they call it Wednesday because they're like, when's the wedding's day? Wednesday. So yeah.
And then Thursday is when you brought fur.
But they spelt it. They got confused because of misheard. So you bought fur.
Yeah, the sound does get muffled a bit underwater, so they do mishear quite a lot.
Well, for humans it does. So, quite simply, fish are very intelligent. They can see the water around them. They can even see the air.
And if humans were smarter, they would be able to see the air.
They can see clearly now.
The rain has gone.
Yeah.
Is what they say.
They actually came up with the song.
They came up with the song. That is what they say every day. We can see clearly now the rain has gone. Because the problem is, when it rains, it hits the top of the water, and it disturbed it. So
I mean, they've actually adapted now. They can do that anyway. But before they could.
It was just like an old saying they had, and it's just carried on.
Old folklore.
Yeah, but now they made the song.
They've adapted now. They can see through any type of water moving or still.
But they love the song.
They still love it. Well, it comes from their culture.
It's their national anthem.
For their fish wars.
Well, there's no fish wars.
Yeah, they call it fish wars, but it's actually just a handshake day.
Oh, a handshake day.
Fin shake day.
Day.
They call it wars so that when other people hear about it, they get terrified.
It's when also they trade each other their wigs they made.
They do.
This is where we got our wigs from.
It's because different types of seaweed, so depending on what school they go to.
Well, different schools also had different styles. And that's how you know which school a fish is from, by the seaweed wig they have.
Yeah. Fish are really, really stylish anyway.
Oh, the most stylish?
I'm going to go see if I can find a seaweed wig.
think we put them in the extension. I think.
We're going to have to find them because we're going to go visit the fish soon anyway.
Oh, we'd have to have our wigs on.
Well, it's disrespectful if you turn up without your wig.
Well, if you don't have one and you turn up, that's fine.
Oh yeah,
but
obviously, because you don't have one.
They remember everybody they've met and every single wig they've made.
Yep.
So if you turn up without it, they get upset.
They don't even need to put like a mark on it or a barcode. They just know exactly.
They know.
They'll know if the wig you're wearing is not the wig they gave you.
Oh yeah, if you try and remake the wig.
Remember whose wig is whose. Oh, it doesn't matter anyway. Because we'll just put it on and say we like to share them because we're Wayne brothers.
Well, they've only ever met us together.
They'll probably appreciate that even more.
Maybe.
That we share wigs.
We'll see. But we'll definitely go and visit the fish again.
We'll see.
We'll see. The sea. Well, we're in the sea.
Well, we can see the sea.
Unless it's raining.
They taught us how to do it.
They did.
We actually spent a whole fish lifetime.
Well, we're technically still in fish school. We're just, like, on holiday.
Honorary.
Yeah, honorary fish school students.
So every time we go back, we're straight in the school.
Straight in.
It's relearning.
Always learning.
Super educating.
Super educating with the fish.
Can't wait to learn some more.
I do love learning with fish. That's most my favourite TV show they had. That's the only TV show they have is Learning with Fish.
Because that's all they ever do.
That's what they do. It's a good show though. That's a great
theme
great.
Tune. Yeah. I like the fact that they change who presents it and who's in it every single episode.
Oh, there's never an episode that's the same.
Well, but it's the only show, so they always know what the show is. It's not like, what's this show? There's completely different fish in this.
Yeah, they know it's the show.
Yeah, because that's the only show they do.
Learning with fish, here they come to teach you things in the sea.
Oh yeah, play that drum. Oh,
such a good show.
Such a great theme tune.
I want to go watch it now.
Well, we're gonna go.
Yeah, but I just really want to watch it.
I know you get excited, but it might be worth watching a few episodes before we go.
We'll definitely find a few episodes on the way.
I think we should catch up.
Definitely. I love it.
I'm excited. Anyway.
So yeah, question answered. Humans, go to school and you'll be able to see the air.
But you've got to go to school for the whole of your life.
Oh, constantly. Question 2.
Question 2 indeed. Very simply, do you eat or drink soup?
Right. I think you can do either, if I'm honest. And I just think it's the way you deliver the soup into your mouth. If you have it in a flask, you're drinking it.
Okay.
If you use a spoon or bread, you're eating it, surely.
You'd be eating the bread.
And yeah. Because I suppose, yeah, if you put water in bread, you're eating wet bread. You're not drinking water, you're not eating water.
And soups can be different thicknesses.
So if you put soup on a spoon, are you eating the spoon? Just doing a bad job of it.
You're licking the spoon
clean. You're licking
clean.
the spoon clean. It's just a dirty spoon.
So does it work the same way a lollipop works? So lollipop, they always refer to as just flavouring your own saliva and licking it back off again. Probably so not exactly how it works, because you're actually taking part of that saliva.
You're neither eating or drinking soup, you're licking soup.
You're licking the soup and letting it travel down your esophagus.
You're licking the soup?
You don't eat or drink it. You lick it.
That's quite a simple one.
But okay, so I was going to ask something. Different thicknesses of soups, but then you can get different...
you can get smooth soup and then chunky soup.
You can get watery soup, like a water-based soup.
Like a broth.
And then you can also get a soup with thick chunks of potato in, which then you're eating the potato.
You're eating the potato.
Does that potato become part of the soup, or is it still a potato sitting in soup?
You're licking the broth and eating the potato.
So you just licking the soup off the potato as you're eating the potato?
And then you're eating a wet potato.
A wet potato.
I love a wet potato.
It's one of my favourite games. Wet potato.
It is a fun game. Makes a mess though.
It's like hot potato, but soggier.
So soggy.
That's the problem. So I was thinking more about the fact that there's different styles of soups. So if you're having a broth soup and you're having it from a flask, the only way to take anything from a flask is to drink it.
Yeah, delivering it from a enclosed container, delivering it to your mouth, you're drinking it.
Well, it wouldn't be completely closed, because how are you going to be drinking it? You're just turning it upside down and nothing comes out.
A partially closed container with a hole upon its bunts.
Upon its bunts. Upon one area, there is a exit system in place.
Of which you can use to deliver the internal
products
into your face.
They should advertise flasks like
We
that.
should advertise flasks.
I think people would love flasks if they were advertised like that.
It'd bring flasks back into fashion, because they're so boring.
Exit System was one of my favourite parts of the flask.
It was my favourite Editors album, but they never released it on Earth, which is a shame.
It's because they're in prison.
They're in space prison, but they're allowed.
Space prison,
They're
yeah.
allowed on Earth.
Well, they weren't allowed to bring that one because it's copyrighted in space.
That's true. So good though.
That's great.
I loved how almost every song was about flasks.
I also think there was one song that was purely them just drinking from flasks for 3 minutes.
Well, for us, almost every song, if I'm honest.
Yeah, but
one was explicitly flasks, where some of them there was cups and other things. But yeah, there was one song.
There was a straw one. I wasn't too fond of that one.
I think that was more of a B-side, wasn't it?
Definitely a B-side. So, different types of soup. If you had a chunky soup with chunky bits of carrot,
you eat the chunks. You eat the chunks and lick the soup.
So why is the broth referred to as the soup? Isn't the bits in it also a part of the soup?
Would you consider a crouton part of the soup or an individual item?
I would say the crouton is separate.
Exactly. I think the items that embody the soup are individual items. You just deliver them at the same time.
At what point do they stop being the item? So if you crushed up croutons to the point that it was just powder and you mixed it into soup, you wouldn't call it a crouton anymore. So if you had a potato completely crushed up so it was into small chunks and then put it in the soup, would you now say it was part of the soup, or would you just say it's itty bitty potato?
I think if you can identify the items with your eyesight alone, then it's not part of the soup.
But you're always going to be able to identify. So if you have carrot soup,
it's going
to be orange.
If you can pick it out and go, that's a piece of carrot. I think once it becomes pureed, it's then part of the soup.
When you say pureed, it makes it sound like for pure health, pureed, like first aid, but
pure aid.
But it's solely for helping people.
Isn't that what pureed is?
Pureed, as in Pureaid.
Yeah, pureed.
That's not pureed, but pureed, Pureed.
What's the difference?
Smooshing.
Oh, smooshing. I've always called it smooshing.
No, pureed is smooshing.
No, I was thinking if you eat soup for pureed, so hospital soup.
Yeah.
It's always smooth because they drink it through a straw.
And they can't actually handle chunks.
So this is what I'm on about. So soup for pureed purposes.
Hospital food is really gross.
It's not great.
When we had to go to human hospital.
Oh god, it was the worst.
When my knee came out.
Yes, your knee.
It was the worst.
They spent a lot of time investigating your wormness. They were confused.
They weren't bothered about the fact that my knee came out. They didn't pop it back in. They were like,
well, they left
how
it on
are
the
you
side for
talking?
most of the time.
I was like, I've told you, I'm an intergalactic worm. I can talk every language. Almost.
Except French.
French is hard. That's the hardest language.
French is hard.
Well, I'm fluent in Japanese.
Oh, yes.
So fluent.
Very fluent.
I'm not going to actually do it because you're not going to understand it. I'm too fluent. I'm more fluent than the Japanese.
The problem is with the translation software we use to translate this into every human language, that when they listen, it would translate it anyway. So regardless of whether we spoke Japanese now, it would still translate to their native hearing language, because that's the whole point of the
We're
software.
not actually speaking English.
Oh, no.
We use a converter.
We speak worm language always.
Wamlage. But it converts.
It converts it for us.
So you can only hear the English
Because
version.
otherwise, have to broadcast this in so many languages and would never stop recording it.
Oh, it would take forever. Just for an episode.
Just
so
for
we
one
just
episode.
We convert it in everything, and then we put it on all the different platforms and all the different planets and all the different universes.
Yep.
There's actually more than one, but you guys can only handle one.
So it's irrelevant. We can speak any language now, but everyone would hear it in their native language.
Yeah. It is catered for your ears.
Always.
Through
Well, we
the
always
software.
cater for your ears.
Ear catering.
That's how we started.
What would your ears like to eat today?
That's how we started ear catering.
Non-chunky soup.
Chunky soup, pureed soup.
So, pureed soup, anything super pureed is now part of the soup.
For health purposes.
For health, for pureed sources.
Pureed purposes.
If it's still physical chunks. How are you going to determine? So, would I have to sieve the soup through, and whatever stays in the sieve is still still the carrot?
No,
so,
I
for
think
example?
it's quite simple. Get a spoon.
Yeah.
Pick it up on the spoon. Then you can just lick the spoon and deliver all the items into your mouth. Because obviously, if you try and lick a chunk of potato, you're just going to knock it off the spoon.
You would still be able to see some of those chunks.
Exactly.
Because you can. So it's not physically seeing it. It's just the delivery system with which it
exactly
is able to
So in
accommodate.
general, you lick soup anyway, but then you sometimes have to eat the chunks.
So if you're able to lick soup off a spoon or any item, you can put a toilet stick in there if you want.
You can lick it up a toilet stick.
Whatever you're into. Whatever you're able to deliver into your system via a lick
By one lick.
is considered part of the soup.
And then you can eat the chunks after, but you're eating the chunks.
So you never actually drink or eat soup.
You lick soup.
You lick the actual soup. But when you pour it down your throat from a flask, That's the only time when it's different.
When it's in a flask.
When it's
That's
delivered by a flask. You never eat soup. You can drink soup if it's in a flask and only in a flask.
Which is what the editor said at the start anyway.
And then that's why all the songs were just them
That's
drinking.
where the album came from. That was their concept behind the album.
So I'm just thinking about my favourite song, track 4.
Was a banger.
I love the fact that they just called it track 4.
Well, that's where Blur got the idea from track 2. Because they heard track 4 and how we're getting on this.
We're just going to do track 2.
We're going to do track 2. It wasn't as good as track 4.
I wonder if there's a track 1, track 3, track 5, and
we can have a look by all means. We can definitely have a look.
That'll be interesting. See if people jumped on that bandwagon.
Well, I suppose editors were so successful with track 4. Blur then, okay, we're getting on this track 2, which was a popular song.
Also, they thought if we go lower numbers, we look like we came out first, but
everyone knows.
Only if you're a rookie, you're going to think that.
Everyone knows about track 4, but no, I've never heard the other ones. Clearly, aren't as popular as track 4 and track 2.
Definitely goes track 4, most popular. Track 2,
people know it,
and then I think it kind of.
I mean, they might exist. We can do some digging.
Yeah, I think it'll be subpar bands
who've tried to
pop artists
tried to jump on the bandwagon to get some popularity, but then it's failed
because the wagon lost a wheel.
The wagons always lose wheels. That's the problem. Which is why they sell wagon wheels so frivolously on Earth.
Because they can just
literally packet them. Wagon wheels are thrown out constantly.
Do you reckon wagon wheels are actually a company stealing wagon wheels and reselling it to people?
Most
to make
likely,
money?
yeah. It's probably some sort of criminal organisation.
Stealing wagon wheels and
then
reselling
them. They pack them in 6s as well. How many wagon wheels have you got to have that you're shipping them out in 6s?
How many have they stolen?
Yeah.
They must make some of their own as well.
They might do.
They'll take one, copy it, sell them in a 6, and they're like, oh, but I only need one. No, we only sell in 6. All right, well, we got spares now for when the wagon's wheels get stolen. Great, this is a great idea. It's
a great idea. There's no wonder they've been around for so long.
I would probably jump on the bandwagon with wagon wheels, but I'm against stealing.
Oh, we're definitely against stealing. Never steal.
No.
Borrow.
Change. Adapt.
Yeah. Overcome. Eat soup.
Eat soup. Lick soup.
Lick soup.
We can't eat soup.
Eat soup chunks.
Eat soup chunks. Okay, so eating the soup chunks is actually. Would you eat the chunks first or lick the soup?
I lick the soup first and eat the chunk second always.
But then all of the soup you lick.
Yeah.
How do you move the chunks out of the way?
You just put your spoon in and slosh it about. Gather the soup.
Yeah.
Lick it off until there's nothing. No, I'm not going to say there's not some residual soup left in the bottom.
Because I was going to say that's almost impossible.
Oh yeah, I mean you can lick the soup in the bowl from the chunks.
You would have to take the chunk. Well, you have to take some of the chunks, suck off the soup, and then put the chunk back
to eat them.
That's why they give you a side dish when you eat soup.
Always. Well, a lot of Earthlings don't know that's why there's a dish underneath the dish.
Yeah, under the soup.
Under the soup
dish.
Under the soup dish. Also, we need to speak to the editors because I think licking the soup from the chunks is a good follow-up album.
Licking the soup? Is it sucking the soup from the chunks?
Licking the soup from the chunks. That's what you're doing. You're licking the soup from the chunks.
But you can suck it as well, though.
You can suck it, but I think licking the soup from the chunks.
I think you damage the integrity of the chunk.
If you start sucking, you're making a mess.
Definitely. Also, you look stupid. Who goes to a restaurant and starts sucking food?
Yeah, that's weird. But definitely, we'll get to the editors on that.
Right, it turn?
No, we'll go see them.
Okay, but if they're not happy to see us again.
Okay, it's been a long time, and we're giving them a follow-up album.
True. They were just pretty upset that you left.
They were, but I'll explain. And then
you haven't told them why you left. How many years ago was that? And you still not bothered to tell them the reason you had to leave. Were you being hunted?
It's not that I'm bothered. It's whenever I think of doing it, I just end up listening to the editors and get just too involved in that, and then forget.
It is hard to stay on point when you're listening to track 4.
Yeah, I just listen to it over and over sometimes. But anyway, we'll get to them. Licking the soup from the chunks. Get them on that. It's going to be such a good... I can't wait.
Soup Chunk Lick could be one of their songs. It's like Eat, Pray, Love.
It's going to be
Soup Chunk Lick.
Good album.
Oh. Maybe they'll let us be on... I'm so excited.
I cannot wait. We have to get on this straight away.
We'll say to them, we have an idea, but you've got to let us be on the album.
In some way. Maybe we can do the art.
We won't force it. What's that?
Maybe we can do the art.
I hope they don't do the art as worm soup.
And hopefully we can get Frodo to sign it off.
He'll have to. We can get his Frodo kiss of appeal.
Exactly.
Of approval, not appeal.
Both.
They are appealing kisses.
They are.
Oh, we've got. I forget how many great friends we have.
We have so many friends. But to conclude, you definitely lick soup.
You lick soup. Only is it drank out of a flask.
Only from a flask, no other container, no other vessel.
The problem with drinking soup from a flask is if it is soup that has chunks in, you're leaving chunks behind, and then they can never actually be removed from the flask.
They get stuck in the bottom of the flask.
That's why you have to buy another flask. Or you keep filling up with soup until it's too full of chunks, and then you have to get rid of it.
And then it's got a flask full of chunks.
And no soup. And you can't get any more soup in because it's too full of chunks.
Exactly. But
So,
lick, chew, soup.
lick chew soup. Lick chew soup.
So
Glad we sorted that out for you
so
then.
that, yeah. As always, you know where we are at wondering_worms on the tweet or
Or the Facebook page, Wandering Worms.
email us at connecttotheworms@gmail.com.
And we have an Instagram page, wandering.worms.
Don't get confused between dots and underscores.
Just think about what angle you are looking at us from.
And badges are going to start going out soon.
We've had someone actually request their badge. Someone who reviewed us on Podbean.
Okay.
So they're waiting for their badge.
I'll
It will
get that
be on its way.
Soon. And make sure you send questions and everything to us through the Twitters or the emails or anything.
Talking about questions, the questions we received today are from...
So question 1 from Amanda Bradbury Hayden again,
She loves a question.
She loves a question. She's a true questionnaire.
She's going to join the questionnaires club. And the second question was from Anonymous. Unfortunately, we can't say that person's name because they haven't given us permission to say their name.
That
they
might change.
didn't go through the proper channels.
No, they didn't.
They came and knocked on the spacecraft while I was eating my soup, drinking my soup.
Licking your soup.
They said, "What are you doing there? Are you eating or drinking that soup?" Which was a question.
So we answered it.
So we answered it, but unfortunately they didn't actually write it to us.
They just came and tried to board the ship, which is illegal.
Yeah, unless you get prior permission.
Unless you have a badge
Unless you have a badge. Badge members are actually welcome at any time.
on the ship, always.
Other than hours 1 to 1.5.
You can't stay away then.
Those hours.
That's worm yoga time.
And how do we stay flexible? Worm yoga
Worm yoga.
and Pilates.
So, as always, thank you for listening.
It was lovely talking to you again.
Bye.
Bye.